to our online English class. In today's class, we are going to learn the supplementary reader Crossing the River. Before starting the class, I need you all to take your textbook and be ready for the class. As I read the paragraph, I need you all to read the paragraphs along with me. Come on students, let's start reading.
Know about the author first. Manoj Das was the author of this lesson. He was a writer who could write in Odia and English. In 2000, Manoj Das was awarded with Saraswati Samman. He was awarded by Padma Shri in 2001, the fourth highest civilian award in India for his contribution in the field of literature and education. Kendra Sahitya Akademi has bestowed its highest award, that is, Sahitya Akademi Award Fellowship. His deeper quest led him to mysticism, and he has been an inmate of Sri Aurobindo Ashram in Puducherry since 1963. Students, take page number 112 and read the first two paragraphs along with me. The celebrated Pandit had many disciples and admirers. Among them was the landlord of the area who lived on the other side of the river. The landlord had commissioned a poor milkmaid, Moti, to supply a tumbler full of milk to the Pandit every day in the morning. The milkmaid discharged her duty faithfully day after day. She crossed the river by the help of a ferry boat and returned home in the same way after delivering the milk at the Pandit's household. Often the Pandit himself received the milk. Moti prostrated before him.
Once there lived a famous Pandit. Pandit means a scholar. He had many followers, disciples, and one of his followers was a landlord. The landlord lived on the other side of the river. So the landlord liked this Pandit very much. He arranged a milkmaid to give this Pandit a tumbler full of milk every day. This milkmaid means palkari in our language we used to tell, right? That's milkmaid. So this milkmaid's name was Moti. This Moti regularly brought milk for this Pandit. She was surprised and she was astonished by seeing this Pandit. Moreover, if she tends to see this Pandit, immediately she'll fall on the ground and she would give respect. Namaskaram we'll say, isn't it? To elders we used to do, we'll bow down on the floor and we will get blessings. Similarly, this Moti used to do that.
She did not fail in her duty, even if on smoke days it rained heavily. What a great privilege it is to serve a great Pandit. She would tell those toil who would sympathize with her for her continuous toil.
This Moti never failed to give milk to this Pandit. Even if the weather is not good, she never failed to give milk to this Pandit. Some people, they would feel pity for her. Oh, it was really a difficult job because you have to get the milk and you have to cross the river in a boat and you have to go and give this to that Pandit, right? Every day you have to travel. It's difficult. But she felt it as a pride. She tells, it's my privilege. I'm really lucky or I'm really blessed to serve this Pandit.
Students, take page number 113 and read the first paragraph along with me. The Pandit was an eloquent speaker. Whenever he gave a discourse, hundreds of people gathered to listen to him. The milkmaid too made it a point to stand behind the audience, not that she understood much, but she was sure that the Pandit was speaking about God and truth and similar though and complex matter. How much knowledge the man must be possessing to hold so many people spellbound for hours. Only one who is very near to God and truth can command such wisdom, she thought. She was happy that she made a humble contribution towards the Pandit's physical well-being by regularly supplying him with pure milk.
This Pandit was a good speaker. When he used to give any speech, hundreds of people would gather there to listen to him. Even this Moti used to stand behind the audience to listen what the Pandit is speaking. Most of the things, whatever the Pandit was speaking, this Moti could not understand. Still, she stands there to listen to the speech. She was surprised to see how could a man have such an ability to speak. He was a scholar, he has so knowledge, that's why he was able to speak very fluently and he could make the audience quite spellbound. She also felt very pride that she got an opportunity to serve this knowledgeable man by giving pure milk to him. She thought this man could speak very fluently and he was very knowledgeable because he was very close to God. Only a person who is very close to God can be such an intelligent man.
Let's continue reading. Even if the landlord fails to pay me for the milk and my labor, I will not fail in my duty, she resolved. One day, while receiving the milk, the Pandit told Moti, Woman, can you bring the milk at least an hour before the sunrise for only a month? I am under a vow for performing a certain ritual for which I need the milk that early. I will do as you say, O master, the milkmaid assured him enthusiastically. But the next day, by the time she reached the Pandit's house, it was already daybreak.
One day, that Pandit spoke to Moti. He said that he was going to practice a special ritual. Puja, we'll say, isn't it? Religious ritual this Pandit is going to perform. So the Pandit asked Moti whether she could give him milk before sunrise. Moti was very happy and she agreed. She promised him that she would bring him milk before sunrise. The Pandit said it's only for a month. Only for 1 month you have to bring milk before sunrise. But the next day when Moti reached that house, it was dawn. She couldn't reach there before sunrise. Do you want to know the reason? Come, let's know the reason why Moti was late to that Pandit's house on that day.
Pardon me, master, for my lapse, but what could I do? Said the milkmaid apologetically. I was present on the bank of the river long before sunrise, but the boatman did not turn up that early, even though I had informed him of the need for me to cross the river while it was still dark. He said since the rivers in spate, it would not be possible for him to ply the boat in darkness. Moti asked sorry to the Pandit because she couldn't fulfill the desire of the Pandit. The Pandit asked her to bring the milk in early morning, but she couldn't. She said that she asked the boatman to come early, but the boatman refused, stating that the river water was running very fast and it would be very dark. Without light, he could not ply the boat. That's why Moti, though she came early to the other side of the river, she couldn't cross the river. Now let's see what idea the Pandit gave Moti. You could not cross the river without the boatman. Eh? I wonder how then the mystics say that one could cross even the ocean of life by uttering the name of Vishnu, commented the Pandit jocularly. Sure that the poor woman would hardly understood the import of his wise observation.
The Pandit said, if there is not a boatman, why couldn't you utter the name of Vishnu and cross the river? Haven't you heard in olden stories that people who believe in God, they will utter the name of the God and they will cross the water and whatever they need? Why don't you try that? He just told it for fun. The scholar, he didn't mean anything, he just said it for fun. Moti was surprised to hear this. She said, nobody told me this truth that a person can cross a river by uttering the name of Vishnu. Actually, the Pandit said all these things for fun. But Moti, as she was very innocent, she believed each and every word what the Pandit said. After this milkmaid left, this Pandit laughed, looking at the innocence of this Moti. Now let's see whether Moti tried to cross the river. Come on, let's continue our class.
Days passed. The period of the Pandit's vow came to an end. He told the milkmaid Moti, I must say that you have served me very well. I appreciate the pain you took in getting up in the small hours and milking the cow and delivering the milk to me at dawn. I bless you. Moti bowed to him. So, sir, from tomorrow I report as before, soon after the sunrise. Is that all right?
Days passed and the Pandit's vow came to an end. The last day, Pandit called Moti and he said, thanks a lot for giving me milk so early. Before sunrise, you have cowed the milk and you have brought me with much difficulty. Thank you so much. Moti was pleased and she asked whether the next day she could bring milk after sunrise. The Pandit said yes. Then immediately he remembered about the boatman. So he said, I'm really grateful for the boatman too because he has helped you to bring every day to my place. So thank him too.
But, sir, I never bothered him, knowing well that he could not come that early, said Moti. Who then piled the boat for you? Boat? Why, sir, I did not need any boat. How then did you cross the river? Good God, muttered Moti. You, who can remember hundreds of pages of scriptures, forgot the secret you passed on to me the other day? What do you mean? Asked the Pandit, intrigued. I just uttered the name of Vishnu and walked across the river. The water remains ankle deep for me.
Hearing the Pandit, Moti said, no sir, I didn't bother that boatman after that. Actually, you told me a secret, isn't it? With that secret, I started uttering the name of Vishnu and I started to cross the river. So, as I start walking, the river will be only to my anklet. Anklet means kanakalam. It's very down, right? So, water will be very low that I could cross the river. The Pandit was surprised because he told her it just like a joke and he has completely forgotten that. Now, let's see what was this Pandit's reaction. Come on.
So now you remembered, said Moti, feeling happy. From tomorrow I will take recourse to the boat. Let me apply the secret for the last time whole returning today. Moti stepped out onto the road. It was a foggy dawn. No doubt the woman was kidding him, concluded the Pandit and followed her tiptoe. Upon reaching the river bank, Moti put her empty pot down and with folded hands paid obeisance to the river. Then, picking up the pot, she stepped into the water. Struck dumb, the Pandit saw her crossing the river walking with ease. The Pandit almost fainted. While demonstrating the miracle of faith, the story also draws a contrast between scholarship and innocence, between the knowledge which scholarship secures but which remains a mere theory for the knowledge that works through one's complete faith and surrender to the Lord.
He said, as you have taught me a secret, then why I should bother the boatman? So I followed the secret and I crossed the river for this whole month. Then she said, today is the last day. From tomorrow I'll come in that boat. But today, while returning back, I will apply the secret for the last time. This scholar was really confused and he was suspicious whether Moti was telling the truth. So secretly he followed her. Moti, as she reached the river, she kept her part down. Then she gave respect to the river and she stepped in. Really, the water was only to her anklet. Because of her faith, the water came down towards her anklet that the lady was able to cross the river very easily. Seeing all these things, the Pandit was shocked and he was about to faint. In this story, you could see two contradictory things. One is a very pious and very knowledgeable man and a very innocent lady. The man was very knowledgeable, but he didn't have the faith that some miracles could happen in his life. But when Moti heard a word from this man, this innocent woman, she was not a learned woman, she was very innocent and poor lady, she believed in the words. She thought that God could make miracles in her life. She believed in that, and that belief made miracles in her life. Dear students, you might think only scholars, only knowledgeable people can achieve great things in their life. No, dear children, if you have faith in God, if you are very humble and if you have faith in God, God can make miracles in each one of your lives. And let's trust in God so that we could expect miracles in our lives too. Now students, today's homework is given in the board. Kindly complete your homework without delay. By the way, don't forget to send a snapshot of your homework. Now it's time to wind up this class. I'll meet you all in my next class. Until then, it's bye from Deepa ma'am.